Hello everyone. In today's video, I am going to talk about everything that I gather from staying in Harrisonburg, Virginia and Richmond. How and who is responsible for being in control and where the money coming from. So we all know that um, Bloomberg was involved in um, taking over Virginia by funding all the community organizers representative of that state, which they don't represent the people for some reason, because majority of people in Virginia are, Republicans, and the the blue side is only on the main cities, which is Richmond and Harrisonburg. Harrisonburg is being taken over. And what's funny is that um, China is extremely invested in putting at least billions of dollars into the local economy for the energy sectors of Virginia. And I'm thinking, well, wasn't Biden and Biden's son involved with the same energy sectors in Ukraine? Why would Bloomberg and a bunch of MI6 British agents that I was able to expose in Virginia be extremely, worried about taking over some of the states that they were interested in, like Harrisonburg, Richmond, and all the other fraction of Northern Virginia, because they want to purchase much acreages as possible and have, as much community control so that they can bring in the Chinese investments for the energy sectors in Virginia. And I'm thinking, well, if they're going to move energy sectors into Virginia from China, they're going to be laundering a bunch of aid money from the Democratic Party and aid from international organizations, and just flood energy sectors in Virginia with launder money from taxpayer fund programs and aid money to foreign countries that the Democrats have access to, granting those aids, and they can launder all the money back into the U.S. using energy sectors by China investment projects in the US. So this is why MI6 British agents are extremely, it's really important for them to have access to this share of the pie, as well as Bloomberg is extremely trying to money grab as much money as possible and have a bigger share of the pie if China ever thinks about starting the energy sectors in Virginia. Just look up China thinking about investing money within the energy sectors in Virginia. And I'm thinking about these Democrats have so much, they're such a crooks. They're going to use all these, foreign investment for their projects to launder money through those projects. They always get involved with energy sectors, any sort of aid relief or emergency funds like Haiti. And, they always have Panama Papers that was leaked that they were using, tax haven islands to launder money, aid money, and everything else for foundations, Soros Foundation, Hillary Clinton foundations, and all these foundations that they have, that are, has tax havens and things like that. So this is the reason why Virginia is being taken over by radical leftists at a very fast pace, because they don't want China, or they don't want anybody being intimidated by the local population. Read the law that they're trying to pass. Nobody wants to be intimidated. Chinese foreign investors, they don't want to be intimidated by Second Amendment advocates. They don't want Chinese operatives coming into the US and being influenced by the constitutional rights that Americans has, that's going to influence the CCP to change and look at themselves like dictators. You see that? I exposed a video on the Ukrainian thing and how the UN and everybody else is trying to destroy the constitutional rights of Americans because it's influencing nations outside Americans to, it's creating a positive influence for the world to be more free like America. But they don't want that. The UN does not want nations to figure out that they are free. There's a perspective of understanding what the quality of life and freedom is a lot different from outside the US. People they think that they're free because they're able to run around and do whatever they want while they're poor. And the state takes all of their grants and everything else. They have no wages. They got like 50% unemployment, utilities, and the healthcare is like completely corrupt in the third world countries. And they don't want nations in the third world country knowing that you have the free will and the power of a gun barrel pointing at the state that gives people the freedom to change and have control over their economy and their communities by making the government fear the population so that there's no corruption like what the Democrats are doing to the courts, to the law, to the money systems. They have no respect for the American soldiers. They have no respect for the workers. They have no respect for rules of law. They have no respect for the Senate, the House, the Supreme Court. They got no respect for the federal judges and everybody else involved. Corruption is cancerous, and it grows and it grows and grows and grows and grows. Like, it's insane. And it's all from the 60s, the mobster era, where they were trying to hijack America back then for their criminal organizations. Because of all that, the cancer just kept growing and growing within the federal government and investigation department and murder and everything else. It's just, I wish I could stop all of this. Anyway, I was absolutely tortured in Harrisonburg. They do not, those are control environment. Richmond and Harrisonburg control environment by British personnels. They're everywhere. Their kids are everywhere. I went to Salt Lake City just now. I'm seeing like the same personnel. The U.S. government does not give a shit about a bunch of British people running around taking over fraction of the economic sectors within different counties and cities. They are extremely intelligent. The British agents inside the U.S. are extremely intelligent. They fund their own people, they protect their own people, and they're like part of some sort of eugenics societal control of counties and cities and everything else, because they're one group of people who basically spear everybody's head away from them, with a spear, and they fund their own communities that way. Something that the black community should be doing, but they don't understand what's going on. The British agents inside the US, what they do is they take over shippers, logistics, any sort of farming, any sort of high income, has a high volume of income within the local community. They fund their own projects, they fund their own housing, they fund everything for their people. They fund their own schools, they fund every freaking thing, from tools to building supplies to every single thing you can think of. Like, the British, citizens of this nation are like a mob almost. They are like a mob. I've been looking at British, personnels inside the U.S. for a very, very long time now. I've been monitoring them very, like, to the bone almost. And these people are extremely organized, and they co-share intelligence within different communities and the geo graphics of how the community is engineered, how like projects are built within different counties and things like that, because they put their own people within mayor positions of power, or utility companies, engineering side of within different community. They organize their own academian schools. They train their own offspring, their own population to be in their specification position of power, where they can share and have like families and kids and a healthy family livelihood within the US. I seen so many British personnel in this country. I seen them take over entire cities. In some parts of the northern uh, west of the US, they have completely taken over the US. Completely. Fractions of some states. The environmental control that they got is gigantic. It's like I'm talking about, maybe they probably got like trillions and trillions of dollars already made from the general population, while real American citizens who fought the Civil War and everything else, they're in the side of the road, living inside trailer parks, while a bunch of British people are having caviar and eating freaking lobster every night or so. And these British mobsters inside the US, what they do is they got some sort of leftists and some sort of psychological torture of dissidents that see their takeover. And I look, if you're British inside the US, like, I know you right through your fucking bones. I know everything about you people. Everything. There's no way you can hide. I know exactly who you are, who you deal with, who is your higher ups, and who's controlling everything, and using fraction of the Masonic lodges to get trust from the local population, so that you can using Catholic churches to fund and monitor and operate a foreign intelligence operation to understand who the local community is, to change the dynamics of geographic model of how voters vote in the US. You people control how people are successful in their lives, and you can make people go completely broke and everything else. You control exactly how women think and feel and do inside the US, and who is able to have an offspring and do everything else, in a fashionable way, where they have enough income to be able to be successful that way. You control people through all sorts of eugenic programs and race-related community organizations. You people are some of the fucking worst racist people I have ever met in my entire life, and I hope the worst for you, all of you. There's no fucking way in the whole planet that you're ever gonna be an American. You're tyrants to this nation. You hijack like parasites cities, counties, local government, academia, and everything else. You people are seriously parasites. There's no other way to put at it. And you're using Mossad, not Mossad, but like the ADL and everything else to literally frame people as racist, so that you don't have to use your resources to follow people around, so you can just use the ADL and everybody else to point out all the brown people as fucking racist, when you're the one who's doing all the eugenics programs behind the closed doors. You're the one affecting the lives of many, many Americans around, not only here, but in Europe as well. You people are extremely fucking dangerous to society as a whole. Like, I do not trust not a single British person in the whole fucking world, man. You people have a really, really bad track record. And it's corruption through the roof. Like, all you know is how scheming, taking shit away from people, framing people, psychologically torturing people, using eugenics programs, brainwashing women to do your own bidding, eugenically, like it's freaking insane, man. How come the U.S. government is not seeing what you people are doing? It's insane. insane. I'm looking at military bases, air forces, and everything else. You're surrounded. The freaking military in the U.S. to spy and monitor and take everything back to the UK, and you know, I don't even know if you're loyal to the U.S. So I think you just like you take over nations here in the U.S. so that you have a dual like loyalty not only to the U.S. but to the British government, because there's no freaking way a group of people can make billions of dollars, hijack a fraction of the U.S. military, and then somehow the UK and the EU have all these specialized military equipment that is highly advanced, and somehow you have access to the International Space Station and have access to all these missiles and ICBMs and everything else. You think I don't know that? You know, I've been watching you fucking people through the bones already, man. You people are tyrants. You steal secrets from the US and you bring it right over to the EU. And then not only that, the majority of the people who were trying to frame Donald Trump was not only that you people were conspiring to hijack an elected president of the United States by using that fake FISA, you know, that Comey, who's probably a British agent as well, and the other FBI agent there, who's also a British agent, who was trying to frame the president. And saying that you guys have a backup policy for all the, if Trump is ever elected. Like, who the fuck you people think you are? Seriously. Like I cannot believe. And then you have the guts to put a bunch of Jewish people over there and then sit there saying that, you know, you're half Jewish, half British, and you're trying to frame the Jewish population by trying to somehow correlate with them so that you can blame them instead of your agencies. Like, who the fuck do you think you are, man? Like, this is insane. I cannot believe the US government is not paying attention to this. Like, I'm gonna write like a paragraph, a gigantic report to the US government and be like, this is a priority. Like, take a look at all these British people inside the US. They are monitoring, torturing, and framing Jewish people by saying that they were correlated with the Jewish people so that they can blame and use them as a scapegoat by saying that they had nothing to do with the coup against the US president, a US sitting president. This is insane. And then you go ahead, and then you put your face right there saying that you're the Supreme Court judge of, you know, Virginia. You're trying to tell the citizens of Virginia that you're somehow gonna rewrite the constitutional right of them having the Second Amendment right to defend and bear arms, and you have the guts to put your fucking agents out there saying that, oh, you know, we can just override the law and put the National Guards against a U.S. citizen. You're going to use the U.S. National Guard against a U.S. citizen being a British agent inside the U.S.? Are you fucking nuts? Like this shit is like fucking make me so angry, man. Like, this is extremely painful to witness inside the U.S. You people are tyrants. You hijacked the industry. You don't, like, you completely take over, and you have an entire eugenics program within the UN inside the America. Utah, you were trying. I just got back from Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. I know exactly how you people put a UN building in there, and how you're trying to dictate American constitutional rights of speech within inside UN buildings. You're hijacking counties, states, and everything else with the UN and EU, and I'm gonna write a huge report to the US government about you people. You people are fucking tyrants. You do not belong in this country. You have a dual loyalty from the US and the EU. Like, you better start picking sides, because this is bullshit. This is gigantic. Now a bunch of fucking Americans are gonna get shot in Virginia, and I really hope that doesn't happen because of your actions. And you think we're not seeing that, and you're trying to blame everybody else but you? This is insane. Like, you people are thinking that we're just idiots. We're just gonna sit here and let you people do all that? No, we're not. We see you. We see every single person that it's inside the US. So you know exactly who you are. You people have dual loyalties. You have no pride in America, and you're trying to coup and take over the US by trying to frame the US, a sitting president, as a Russian asset. Because look, MI6 have you people are paranoid as fuck, because in the UK and everything else, you're always, everybody is a Russian agent that doesn't see the British government as, you know, some sort of superior government and everything else. Anybody who talks shit against you is automatically a Russian. And then you're trying to bring that propaganda here in the US, saying that our elected president is a Russian asset? Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. And I really hope the American people wake up and start seeing all eugenics programs and all the EU and UN buildings already being planned out everywhere else, and all of your leftist policies trying to destroy and dictate how Americans live. You are tyrants. You are fucking tyrants. And I'm sick and tired of you going around and like trying to blame everybody else but you, and trying to use Jewish people as scapegoats. Scapegoats. And then trying to tell us that we're racist, that we're trying to frame us, trying to say that we're anti-Semitic, trying to put us on a list by being racist against us, by acting like you're Jewish, and then trying to make us say racist shit against Jewish people so they can use the Jewish people as a scapegoat for all of your criminal activities in the US and the EU. Fuck you.